This week on the Racing Insiders Global Rallycross, we get a complete analysis on maybe the best show of the year. The World Endurance Championship in Shanghai. We have a champion. We love him. And the SEMA Show in Las Vegas. The best in Specialty Equipment Marketing Association, 50 miles plus of booths. We talk about what's going on there. And are you kidding me? What's going on in our minds? Next on the Racing Insiders. Welcome to another edition of the Racing Insiders, the only place in broadcasting where you're going to get sports car content every week. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. Jeff Lepper is in Folsom, California. Jeff, what's going on? Pardon, you have a good week?
Oh man, it's been a great week. Was just back from SEMA, got to watch that exciting Global Rallycross finale taking place over there on the Las Vegas Strip.
We're going to hear a lot more from the SEMA Show, but Global Rallycross, an incredible show this week, and it was a show. It was fun. The winner, Ken Block, his first win ever in Global Rallycross. Second was Tanner Faust on the podium. Third was Travis Pastrana. This was a great show, even at the end, after the checkered flag. Pure chaos. Guys were jumping into cars, sticking their head in, complaining, cursing. Guys were wrecking their cars in celebration, throwing parts over the wall. Cars were torn up. It was fun. Can you believe that, Jeff? It was fun. It wasn't a demolition derby like we've seen in some of the other Global Rallycross events.
Well, I tell you what, I was there. I got to watch this firsthand, and it is exciting. My first ever Global Rallycross event that I got to go to and watch live. A great track. I think the track was purposely built and designed for Vegas and for the show. Mostly pavement, only dirt in that final that turn coming over the tabletop jump, and it really made for a great show. Nice open wide track as well, Bill. We didn't have that first corner pileup that we've seen pretty much every single round in Global Rallycross.
It was a great show, and I think I have an idea, I have a theory, no one's confirmed this yet, but it's what's bumping around in my head. Red Bull. They announced a relationship, a partnership next year with Red Bull, and Red Bull is about fun. They do events that are highly competitive, but they are about fun. And it seems like Red Bull inserted itself into the last round of 2013 to give us a fun event. The track was wider. They had a little more run up to the first turn. We didn't get the demolition derby that they had in all the previous rounds, especially at Charlotte. It was fun. The guys got through. We saw some racing, and we had a chance to see Tanner Faust really do some driving. He started off chasing. He was in front, in fact, but they said he jumped the green light at the beginning of the race. They put him in the penalty box for a stop and go, and Ken Block got into the front. In fact, he said afterwards, "I'm stoked," and then he realized, "I'm leading," and he had to really drive to get through to the thing. That put Tanner back out behind Travis Pastrana. He was able to get around Pastrana when Pastrana bicycled his Dodge Dart up on two wheels. He got around him and went up after Block, but he couldn't catch him, wasn't enough time left. And Ken, the fastest guy in the series statistically, but he got a chance to win his first event in the final round, and obviously he was pretty happy. The big donuts from Travis, he lost control of his car, his Dodge Dart, backed into the wall, pieces went everywhere, and he was throwing fiberglass over the barrier to the fans. It was chaos, but it was fun, and we had a chance to see some racing and not red flags and track cleanup. I'm sure the fans in the stands appreciated that.
Yeah, they really did, man. It was great, too, and if you were an attendee of the SEMA Show, you got a free ticket to come in, which I think was marketing genius as well, with 158,000 registered people coming to the SEMA Show. That made for a big crowd, and it really was more of a a total event. Global Rallycross did everything right this weekend by inviting the SEMA people. During one of the heat races, they had a malfunction with the lighting system, and instead of just letting it go and finishing the heat out, they actually did a reboot. They started the heat fresh, went from zero back up to the heat 2. It was really great that they did that. I think that was really a good show that they do, and it makes it really exciting looking forward to 2014.
There was a curious thing in the last chance qualifier with Sverre Isaksson, the three-time European Rallycross champion. He calls himself, and his fans call him the Viking Warrior. He got caught up in some a little give and take with Nelson Piquet Jr. from the Nationwide Series. Also, I think he ran in Formula One at one time. Son of Nelson Piquet, the former world champion in Formula One. Piquet was out there. He was banging around with Isaksson. Isaksson turned down on him, or Piquet ran into him, whatever you want to believe, whatever side you're on. Piquet was able to continue. Isaksson didn't, and he went outside of himself. He stormed into the race control. Race control told the cameras up there to leave. There's even some talk that he challenged the series owner, Colin, to a fight, demanding that he not be penalized like that. What happened was that he was put into the last chance qualifier. Piquet, whose crew worked for about 15-20 minutes to get the car fixed, he didn't learn that he was booted out of the final. Would have been his first final in GRC. He didn't learn that he was booted out until he showed up for the grid. He was very disappointed, walked away wondering, what do I have to do? But that's Global Rallycross. That's part of the show. It was an enormous show, a lot of fun. It was the final event. Next year we'll have Red Bull, and people will have a chance to see what fun can be in action motorsports. As we look at file video from Global Rallycross Irwindale, officials at Dodge SRT Motorsports have confirmed to the Racing Insiders that the Rallycross relationship between Dodge and Travis Pastrana's 199 racing team is over. The story is Dodge took possession of Pastrana's 2 Dodge Darts after GRC Las Vegas, and that Pastrana Racing is on hold for the moment. The word is Dodge may come back in 2015, but they wouldn't confirm that to us. On Monday, Pastrana said he was leaving his NASCAR efforts, that his poor performances made it difficult to find the necessary sponsorships. This opens the door for him to return to rallycross or even stage rallying, where he won 4 national championships and he can still have time for family. Finally, our contacts won't comment on rumors that Travis will be back in a Subaru next year. We're going to Shanghai, the World Endurance Championship, the WEC, and Audi again is the headline maker. They won the manufacturer's title at the last round. Now they get a driver's champion, and it's from the Audi stable. Jeff, what happened?
Well, the number 1 Audi takes the win, but in third place it was Tom Christensen, Mr. Le Mans, 9-time Le Mans winner, Alan McNish and Luke Duvall clinching the driver championship with their third place finish, and it was great to see that in their R18 e-tron Audi Quattro. Pretty much dominates anywhere they go, and man, I don't understand, Bill, when is this going to end for Alan McNish and Tom Christensen, the domination they've had not only as drivers but with Audi?
You know, I don't know that it is going to end anytime soon. You know, the one thing, while you were just talking there, I don't think much about NASCAR, but people always talk about Jimmy Johnson in Sprint Cup being the 5-time champion going for his 6th title. Chad Knaus is the guy behind the scenes pulling the string and making it possible. With the Audi team, they have Dr. Ulrich, who is there in everybody's mind. He's a perfectionist. He demands perfection from the team. I think that as long as Dr. Ulrich is there with Audi pulling the strings and making things happen, I think an Audi is always going to be there at the front of the line. And Christensen, McNish, and now they are mentoring Duvall, bringing him up to speed. The curious thing about it, you think of them as always being in the front. The 9 championships for Christensen at Le Mans, and McNish has won Le Mans and the ALMS championship. This is McNish's first world title. That was surprised me when I saw that. It was huge.
Yeah, I never really knew that. That's amazing with his pedigree and what he's done, both when he was racing with Formula One after he did run sports cars, and then now he's back into Audi again. It was great to see Audi 1 and 3. Finishing second was the Toyota hybrid, so it was great to see Toyota up there as well, to see some more manufacturers battling out, especially with the withdrawal of Peugeot now in World Endurance Sports Car Racing. Also going off to our LMGTE Pro category, got to give it out for the Aston Martin of Stefan Moki and Darren Turner. Pretty much led flag to flag all 6 hours. The only time they lost the lead was during pit stops. So it was a great run for them in their World Endurance Championship, and that got them the points lead going into the final round at Bahrain.
You know, the other thing that Audi does better than anybody else is that they prepare to race. They don't prepare for speed, they prepare to race. And I remember a few years ago when I think it was the R8 that they had, they could change the entire engine and transmission in like 15 minutes or something. Just unbolt it and bolt another one on, and they were back in the race at Le Mans. So they prepare for this endurance thing. You know, the one thing, I love the Audis, and I love Christensen, a big rock fan, a headbanger. Can you believe that, Tom Christensen? And Alan McNish, I really like those guys. But the one thing that is very different about the World Endurance Championship, and maybe why it doesn't have the fire in the United States, is because these 6-hour races, we tend to have as a country as ADD, and we tend to relate more to 10 laps in global rallycross than 6 hours in World Endurance Championship. I think that in order to get some more interest here in the United States, maybe they need to cut the races down to even less than the 2 hours and plus that's going to be in the United Sports Car Championship next year. I think the Pirelli World Challenge has got it right, Jeff, that the 1 hour format is where everybody wants to go.
Yeah, I think so. It's exciting. It makes it a one driver, all give, no take. Or I don't know how to, let me reverse that. All take, no give when you do for a full 50-minute sprint race in the Pirelli World Challenge, and that's what makes it exciting, and I would like to see that happen. I think we should maybe, even if you want to stick with the endurance format, maybe Saturday have a sprint race format, and that could determine the grid for Sunday's starting grid. I think that would make it very exciting and definitely help grow it in the United States.
That's actually a brilliant idea. I hadn't thought of that, to have a sprint race an hour to get everybody ready for the full song. That's actually, that's a good idea, Jeff. You get an extra sticker on your helmet in football season. You get an extra sticker on your helmet here in sports car racing. But the World Endurance Championship, Audi takes the driver championship, the team championship, and goes on. A great series. Look forward to it next year. I love sports car racing. That's why we're here, the Racing Insiders. When we come back, the SEMA Show, we find out this massive, massive 50-mile show. If you stretched it out, 50 miles long. Incredible. Jeff has all the details when we come back. The Racing Insiders. We'll be right back.
This segment of the Racing Insiders was brought to you by GoRacingTV.com, for racers by racers. Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new GoRacingTV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Welcome back to the Racing Insiders. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. Jeff Lepper is in Northern California, but most of the week he was in Las Vegas, the lucky guy. He gets to go to the SEMA Show, one of the great shows. If you care about automotive things, you want to go to the SEMA Show, one of the largest shows of its kind in the world, 50-plus miles of walking paths. A great show. Jeff, what'd you find out?
Well, a lot of great things coming out of the SEMA Show. By far the biggest show in Vegas and the biggest automotive show in the world, I think next to the Tokyo Auto Salon. 1.5 million square feet of exhibition space, had 600 cars that were on show here this weekend, and some great announcements coming from Rally World Challenge, a new class introduction with their touring car A class. Kind of takes the touring car B spec that was very successful this year with the subcompacts and move that into the compact, which is going to be a spec shock, spec spring, spec brake package, about a $50,000 build for a touring car. Makes it very affordable for the club racer that's running in the T3, T4 category of showroom stock racing and sports car in SCCA to kind of move up to the professional ranks that we've seen in the touring car B spec up to TCA now. So it kind of gives another ladder. And I'm looking at it, Bill, with the Rally World Challenge with TCB, TCA, touring car, GTS, and GT now. Truly the only series in the world that I think has a true ladder system built into the series to start from the bottom and work all the way up to the top.
You know, that's true, Jeff. I was just thinking while you were giving all of that, the people at the Pirelli World Challenge, maybe it's because they own it, they're responsible for it, they pay the bills, they make profit or don't make profit based on their decisions. They're making some great decisions there that really bring the whole thing to light, especially what you're talking about, to be involved and to bring the whole thing up. What else happened at SEMA?
Well, we also had Team Falken announced for their Tudor United Sports Car race that they're going to run a factory 2014 Porsche 911 GT3R with Brian Sellers and Wolf Hensler again. They're not going to get the car till a little bit later. You know, they are a private team in the LMGTE Pro category, so they're going to miss Daytona, but they will run the rest of the series as well. Very exciting stuff for that, to see that team develop and compete alongside of the factory teams with Factory Corvette, Factory Porsche, Factory Ferrari, a privately funded team there with Team Falken. It's awesome to see that going on.
You know, that Brian Sellers has a special category. He is one of the only, if not the only, non-Porsche factory driver that's running a Porsche in the upper end of the GT Le Mans category. It's a huge step for him. It says a lot for him. And the team itself has come a long way as a privateer in a different kind of tire. It's not a Michelin or a Dunlop or any of the classic Yokohama. It's a Falken tire, and they've shown the quality of that Falken tire, starting with the win in a driving rainstorm, they call them gully washers in the Midwest, just a dump in mid-Ohio where the rained enormously, and that's how they got their first win. They won at Baltimore. The team has come together and become a very quality program with Wolf Hensler behind the wheel, but Wolf and Brian are really a good team. What else happened at SEMA?
Well, a little rumor out of that back to the Team Falken as well. They might actually go to Le Mans this year as well, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. By far, the biggest news story at SEMA has got to be just this pure size of the show. I just really can't believe how big this show has gotten. A lot of, you know, if you are in the automotive industry, both as a repair shop, light cars, whatever you got to be, this is a show that you're going to want to go see. So much so, I don't really have any gambling money left, but it was just a big show.
That's how they built Vegas, Jeff. Guys like me and you going there and leaving all of our money. But that's, you know, that's what Vegas is about. You go there and you say, it's like an adult amusement park. You pay your admission, and you leave it at the table, and you come back home.
Are you kidding me?
Jeff Lepper is in Folsom, California with his Are You Kidding Me for this week. Jeff, what's on your mind?
Well, I'm going back to SEMA. I talked about how big this place is, 1.5 million square feet. If you walk booth to booth, it's 53 miles of walking. I was there for 4 days. The show is too big. There's too many manufacturers of blinking lights and big bling wheels now. I think they need to separate the tire and wheel portion of the show to the automotive section of the show, because that has gotten too big. I did not even have a chance to spend my gambling budget because I was too busy walking around show to show. Are you kidding me?
If you, that's incredible. If you have a gambling budget, you can't even spend it in Vegas. They may not even want you back, Jeff. My Are You Kidding Me is Ken Block. Here's a guy who started off as a businessman, actually started off as a skateboarder, became a businessman with two other guys, started the DC brand, made it global, and made it huge. A multi-million dollar brand, became a businessman, a marketing manager, and now his midlife crisis is to be a race car driver. At one time, the picture of Ken Block was upside down, 10 feet in the air at a practice stage in Portugal. Now he's winning events here in the United States, almost became the stage rally champion, came down to just seconds the second day, just a few stages from the end before he got that he could have had that championship, and now he wins his global rallycross round, his first event there. Congratulations to him. Most guys in their midlife crisis have an affair. His affair is with a car, and he's become very good at it. On the calendar this week, the World Rally Championship has its final round. Rally Great Britain, Rally GB in Wales. It's a great event. I've covered it as a spectator and as the media. Be prepared to walk. If you're going to go, it's one worth seeing. The speeds are incredible, and the people, the fans, they love this event. You'll walk in a mile to a corner, and there's people all over the place. They say 1 million spectators follow this thing, like moving around from the Kielder Forest in Scotland to the forest in Wales. It's a great event. And Super GT, their final round at Fuji. We'll have details on both of these events next week. Jeff, what are you going to pay attention to this week?
Well, I just got back from Buttonwillow Raceway, where I was one of the guest judges for the Mazda MX-5 Cup Shootout. The winner of that gets a full paid ride next year in the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup Race Series. So it was a great day down there at Buttonwillow Raceway, but I'm going to be tuning into that Super GT race at Fuji Speedway. You know, I love those cars ever since they came, I said it before, to Fontana for GT Live. I can't wait to see those guys race again.
Mazda has such an incredible ladder system, both in open wheel and sports cars. The Mazda Road to Indy in open wheel, and things like this Mazda Shootout to bring guys up through the ranks in sports cars. It was a great show for this past weekend to give these guys a chance to experience what it's like to be a professional driver. I'm going to pay attention to Rally GB, especially to follow Robert Kubica, who's going to be with Citroen. He gets to step up from WRC2, where he won the championship this year, to run with Mikko Hirvonen and Danny Sordo in the WRC, the full WRC cars. It'll be good to see how this former Formula One driver competes with the big guys in their playhouse, in their sandbox at Rally GB. That's the Racing Insiders for this week. I'm Bill Wood in Los Angeles. Jeff Lepper is in Folsom, California. We look forward to seeing you next week when we have coverage of Rally GB and Super GT. Until then, take care of each other, respect each other. I'm Bill Wood. Peace.